Now at 6, the city of Joplin looks for a new homelessness director after just 2 months on the job. Plus, an animal shelter in southeast Kansas shuts its doors to any new intakes. We'll explain. And a brand new walking trail debuts in the city of Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin is looking for a homelessness director less than 2 months after their current director took the role. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Tanya Bach. Eric Argenbright notified the Joplin Regional Commission on Homelessness of his intention to resign within 30 days. He cites unanticipated personal reasons as the cause for his departure. The resignation comes 3 weeks after Argenbright sat down with KOAM to discuss what he hoped to do in the role. According to the Commission's executive director, Argenbright will work with them during this transition and offer guidance on the next steps. The Commission intends to fill the position quickly and says they will know more in the coming weeks. The SEK Humane Society is pausing all new animal intakes as they say they are at risk of closing their doors at the end of the year. The nonprofit says this could happen without new financial support as donations and grants have dropped to unsustainable levels, even as the cost of operating continues to rise. Staff say the pause in intakes is necessary as they are already at maximum capacity. Today, the Humane Society asked the Crawford County Commission for monthly funding to allow the shelter to remain open. The requested amount is $30,000 a month.
This would allow us to remain open and operational, maintain our current level of care for animals, retain staff, and continue vital community programs, prevent a county-wide animal welfare and public health crisis, as well as provide additional benefits to Crawford County. This investment is into public safety and community health.
The SEK Humane Society says community support is more important now than ever before, whether it be through donations, adoptions, or volunteering. We'll have more on how you can help on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, it's going to turn out to be fairly warm as we go into your Wednesday today, upper 70s to near 80, but mid 80s as we go into a Wednesday. Also some thunderstorms tomorrow night, scattered. Not widespread, scattered, but the ones that do develop could be a little bit stronger to low grade severe. And then we cool down a bit as we go into Thursday. So severe threat tomorrow, mainly our northern counties, but still a level 1 threat for a good chunk of the region. We've been tracking some little hit and miss little guys right across the region, ones that don't last very long, kind of sinking off toward the south and to the east, but those will pretty much fall apart over the next couple hours. Let me take you through time. 6 a.m., lower 60s, so a nice start on your Wednesday, and through the evening hours, we slide back through the 70s into the 60s. We'll look at those thunderstorm chances here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. As cooler temperatures roll in, there's something new heating up excitement for Joplin residents. A fresh trail. The Tin Cup Trail is officially open, stretching 1.5 miles. It links the St. John's Trail to McIndoe Park and the Shoal Creek area. Now, plans are already underway to connect this trail to the Grand Falls. Now, we caught up with city officials who say they're thrilled to see this long-anticipated project come to life.
We are working off of the original Trails Master Plan. Now that plan has been updated a couple of times since the late 90s. And that master plan, covers the city of Joplin, but it also covers the metropolitan area.
So far it's really nice. I really like it.
A suspension bridge is also underway. However, it'll have to wait due to a delay in materials. Right now, there is no word when it will be complete. The city of Joplin says it is actively collaborating with the developer on the proposed Prospect Village project, with a series of public hearings underway. Now, the next public hearing is scheduled for October 20th. These are the latest renderings for the proposed development, which would be near 20th and Rangeline. The multi-use project will feature a 135,000 square foot athletic facility with outdoor turf fields and the ability to host tournaments. The development would also include a major retailer such as a grocery store, a hotel, and an apartment complex with more than 300 units. City officials say the project has the potential to create an enormous economic impact for local businesses and increase tax revenue from out-of-town visitors. The developer estimates if construction can break ground at the end of 2025, it may take about 8 years for all the component projects to be completed. The sports complex would be built first, with hopes to open in 2027. Well, the Arvez Foundation presents a check to Carl Junction schools for their support of the upcoming First Responders Memorial in Jasper County. The memorial is set to be unveiled on September 11th at 9 a.m., honoring those who lost their lives while on duty, such as 1993 Carl Junction High School grad Ben Cooper.
One of the things that I'm most proud of about our school district is that we are intentional about honoring and showing respect for those that have served, and this donation allows us in another tangible way to honor that commitment, and specifically to be attentive to those in law enforcement and first responders and the services they provide to our community.
The Arvez Foundation's goal is to recognize local groups working to improve quality of life in the 4 states. Humboldt hits the gridiron with hopes for a title. Sports director Ben McLeish has a preview of the school's chances. That's coming up. But up first, a Missouri community comes together after a home explosion injures a man. Less than a week after a devastating home explosion rocked a North St. Louis County neighborhood, the community gathered for a fundraiser focused on healing and rebuilding. Annie Kroll has the story.
Third-degree burns on the lower part of his body because he had to go through the fire.
That's what happened to 18-year-old Dante Anthony Jr. on August 25th. His uncle, Terrence Hardy, said he was in the basement of the home that exploded in North St. Louis County.
My sister had went out to run. All the kids are athletes. She went out to run, and when she returned home, my nephew said the roof came in.
Hardy said thankfully Anthony was the only person home.
And the fact that they ran track, I believe, was the difference. I can only think of what would have happened to me in that situation. But the fact that he was quick thinking and was able to get out, I would have been too worried about the fire, me being burned.
Anthony is still recovering from being burned on 85% of his body.
We're just hoping that, once he gets able to see himself, that it doesn't send him in a backlash, but, everything is healing, pretty well.
Healing, which was one of Hardy's goals with this pre-show benefit fundraiser ahead of the St. Louis Arts and Entertainment Awards he also organized.
It was almost like a phoenix rising from the ashes, and that's kind of the vibe I was feeling.
Local artists like New Religion reacting to when the explosion destroyed or damaged about 25 homes.
I was so shocked. I was like, an explosion? What is going on?
18 performers showed off their talents Sunday outside the Grandel Theater.
People can give money, people can give, a lot of different things, but when you add entertainment, you bring all those elements together as one.
Music is a language of any culture, any city, any state around the world, so music is a good way for us to get a message out there.
Inspirational words as families focus on rebuilding.
The music will kind of get you off your feet and make you feel like, okay, yeah, let's gonna get this together, let's be positive.
Anthony's family established a GoFundMe campaign to help with expenses. Since the explosion, it has raised more than $66,000. A little later, our sports team heads to St. Paul High School for a look at its football program. Ben has more coming up in sports.
Plus, we have some more thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming. Well, it turned out to be a nice Tuesday for us today. We did get a few afternoon little pop-up guys once again, like we have seen over the past couple days. You can see them kind of drifting off toward the south into the east. Hit and miss, not widespread. We actually had widespread rain yesterday morning, but these guys, just little tiny guys out there, not a big deal, mainly along and south of I-44. And as we continue to lose the heating of the day, these will continue to disappear. Most numerous, you got one just north of Grand Lake, one near Diamond, and then a little cluster just to the north of Cassville, Missouri. We do have a severe threat tomorrow evening night. So these are going to get going in the yellow, where there's a level 2 threat. And as they drop southeast, they will weaken. So that's why most of us are in a level 1 out of 5 threat. Timing 5 p.m. to about midnight. Main threats, hail and wind. I'm going to keep all of the threats low. It's going to be very scattered. I do not anticipate it to be a very big deal, but it's something we're going to keep our eyes on. All right, so by morning, about 60 to 62 degrees. Heat up a little bit more on your Wednesday. Near 80 by noon. As we go into the afternoon, I think most of us 83, 84, 85 degrees. Here comes our front. here comes our scattered thunderstorms. So not a line, hit and miss, and they will weaken as they push south and east, but we are going to have them out there. So here's about 11 p.m. Then after midnight, these pretty much dissipate and then look pretty good heading into Thursday morning. So we'll start with some clouds, lower 60s. Once we get to Thursday afternoon, most of us a little bit cooler, I think 79, 80 degrees. We have another front, comes in Thursday night into Friday, and this could bring in a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms to kick off the day on Friday. Rainfall, well, because they're scattered, we got to see where they pop up. So I'm showing you this just to give you an idea that areas that do get rain may pick up a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch in spots. Day planner 61 start, 79 by noon. High temp, 85 on your Wednesday. Great shot. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. We are looking downtown Joplin, 76 by 8 down to 67 by midnight. Let's continue rest of the week into the weekend. We know we got that chance for scattered thunderstorms on Friday. This front kind of sinks south on Saturday, so we should be dry. Any rain stays mainly to our south. And then on Sunday, it's going to try to start to sneak back in. We have another little wave, which is going to affect us as we get into the second half of the weekend. Reason it's been a little bit cooler, we've got a northwest flow right out of Canada, which, hey, we'll definitely take. And here's our reinforcement shots of fall-like air as we go through the next several days. And then this little guy, that's the one that will start to affect us as we get into early next week with some chances for rain once again right across the region. So at least we have occasional rain chances every few days. 85 on your Wednesday, 80 on Thursday, 78 on Friday, 79 Saturday. So, I mean, we're talking, tomorrow's going to be warm, but most of this 10-day stretch looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm ready for the temperatures in the 70s again.
Yeah, not bad at all.
I will take it. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, September is here, and you know what that means. It's almost fall. Whether you're into haunted houses or just a good old-fashioned hayride or pumpkin patch, the Four States area has something to offer to everyone as temperatures begin to drop. But where do you find them? Just scan this QR code and head over to the Autumn Events section of our events page. Once there, you can find fun and festive fall events in the Four States for all ages. That's the Autumn Events page at KOAMnewsnow.com. Still ahead, Kansas high school football kicks off in 3 days. Get your first look at the 2025 Humboldt and St. Paul football teams. Ben McLeish has those stories up next in sports.
Humboldt football is back this Friday, and the 2025 Cubs have big shoes to fill. The 2024 senior class was the winningest in Humboldt history. Last season, the Cubs were regional champs and started the season 10-0. But Humboldt has plenty of talent returning for 2025. And 11th year head coach Logan Warwick's expectations remain the same for this year's team.
We lost a solid senior class. They were the winningest class in school history, so it speaks volumes with them. But I think there's a lot of guys that got a lot of playing time last year and over the last couple of years. So we bring a lot back, especially up front. So we're looking to lean on that, our O-line and D-line, and hopefully some guys can kind of grow around them in the skill positions, and we can build on that.
One of the members of last year's senior class was the starting QB Blake Ellis. Now Mason Sterling will step into the role of field general for the Cubs, but he's no stranger to the Humboldt offense. Last season, as a skill player, he rushed for over 900 yards and racked up over 300 receiving yards as well.
My first year I wasn't able to play a whole lot, but the last 2 years especially I've been in the offense in different positions, and it's good to be in different positions because you get to learn not just your playbook or your spot, but every other spot, and it helps you understand the game a lot more. So I think previous years of experience will help this year for sure.
Sterling is recovering from an ankle injury and won't be ready for Humboldt's season opener against Caney Valley this Friday, but he'll line up under center at some point this season. St. Paul football is back on the practice field preparing for Kansas football kickoff this Friday. As the Indians look to take steps forward after a 2-7 record last season, head coach Keith Wiatrek enters his second season as head coach since returning to the position last year. Wiatrek's passion for St. Paul football is evident. He grew up in the area, graduated from St. Paul and represented the Indians on the gridiron every Friday night as a player. Now, as the head coach, there is no place he'd rather be.
Everybody wants to coach in their hometown, but a lot of people have big goals in coaching and moving up the ladder and start somewhere and try to get bigger and bigger, until ultimately their highest level that they could be at. And I'm satisfied with A-man football in St. Paul, Kansas. I've lived here my whole life, and someday I'll be over there across the street in that cemetery, hopefully. So I just love being around it. I love the community. I love this town.
Coach Waltrip, he's awesome. He really cares about us. Last year, obviously, things didn't go the way we planned, but he was always there for us. Having someone that knows us and has been around us and knows what it's like to, have failure and then get back up again is really inspiring.
The strength for this St. Paul squad in 2025 will be in the backfield. The Indians return running back Devin Vogel, who rushed for over 1,000 yards a year ago, and quarterback Breck Norris. With a full season under their belts in this offensive scheme, the dynamic duo is set to lead a strong ground game attack.
Him and I have been quarterback, running back duo since our 7th grade year. So we've played football together for 4 years. Our mesh points are on point. He does a great job about handing the ball off and getting me in the right spots. That way I make the hole that I need to make. But he can also throw the ball fairly well.
Instead of knowing the plays, being explosive in the plays. So now we know the plays, what we want to run, why are we running it, why are we doing it. Now we can don't have to think about it, we can just be explosive doing it. I think it's going to help them both tremendously. And then they'll be back as seniors too, so you get to grow together a little bit. Them learning my system last year, running option football. I expect us to be hard to stop this year on the ground.
St. Paul opens up its season this Friday on the road against the Northeast Vikings. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Experts say feelings of loneliness can have an impact on a person's mental health, and now one university wants to create a support network. Plus, we'll look at the president's latest plan to address a housing crisis in America and the reasons behind the rise in the number of children committed to the Missouri Division of Youth Services. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The 30th annual art exhibit is open at the Neosho Chamber of Commerce. The art exhibit is inspired by Thomas Hart Benton. All the work is from local emerging and professional artists. It's open for viewing September and October. Some of the pieces are available for purchase as well. All right, final check of the forecast?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. We do have an isolated shower or two out there over the next couple hours, and then quiet tonight, 85 tomorrow, but some thunderstorms tomorrow night, and then Thursday looks good. Some more thunderstorms or at least showers as we go into Friday, but temperatures pretty good.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for watching. We're going to see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.